Are you an aspiring entrepreneur or an early stage entrepreneur? If yes, your mind may be racing with thoughts. How do I scale my business? How do I validate my idea? How do I even get started? How do I get paying customers? How do I become profitable? How do I raise funding? How do I become the next unicorn? But hold your horses or your unicorns, if I may say so. Even before you start addressing these questions, we need to address one very, very fundamental question, which lies at the heart of your entrepreneurship journey and will help you give answers to a lot of these questions along the way if you just get this one question right. This one question can be summarized in just three letters, which is WHY. Why? Why? Why do you want to jump on to the entrepreneurship bandwagon? You may have given it a cursory thought and you may think that the answers are obvious and you may have jumped on to answering the next set of questions that we just spoke about. But it is extremely important that you sit back and reflect on why is it that you've started on this entrepreneurial journey. Before you watch this video any further, I would request you to do one thing. This will ensure that you get the maximum possible value out of this video and out of the time that you are investing in watching this. Take a piece of paper and write down why is it that you have begun your entrepreneurial journey or plan on beginning one. This is extremely important. It is not sufficient to have the answers in your head, but to ensure that you put it down in writing. If you do not have a piece of paper and pen handy, simply type in the comments on why you want to become an entrepreneur. Feel free to pause the video for a few seconds while you do this exercise. I trust you have completed this exercise and it may not have taken you too much of time to come out with the answer. Maybe you had only one singular reason why you wanted to get into entrepreneurship, or maybe there is a combination of multiple factors. Whatever may be the case, we have asked this question to many people, and the answers can broadly be categorized into these five segments. So, let me tell you why is it that most people get into entrepreneurship, and let's compare your answers to what most people get into this journey for. Do watch this video right till the end because then I will be disclosing why is it that most successful entrepreneurs start their entrepreneurial journey, or at least why they recalibrate their entrepreneurial journey along the way and become extremely successful. But all good things must wait. So let's go through the motions and figure out what are the top 5 reasons why people start their entrepreneurial journey. In no particular order, the first reason relates to autonomy and control. People want to have control over their lives. Many aspiring entrepreneurs have a burning desire to be in control of their lives, to be in charge of their destiny, to be completely autonomous in what they do. They may currently be in employment or they may see others around them in employment, and they may not like the fact that you are tethered to an organization, you are accountable to the bosses, to the managers, to the supervisors, and to the organizational goals. You do not have any independence of your own to pursue your own path, to chart your own destiny, and you have to listen to what others tell you to do. And that's not a very good feeling. So, that is the primary motivator of people who are driven by the need to have autonomy and control in their entrepreneurial journey. Let me also mention at the outset that there are no right or wrong answers. It is not as if this is a good reason to get into entrepreneurship or a bad one. However, most people who get into entrepreneurship because of these reasons fall into certain pitfalls, which we will, of course, examine in much greater detail in a separate video. But in this video, what I want to do is quickly run you through the 5 most common reasons why people want to get into entrepreneurship, and of course, the bonus sixth reason that I mentioned earlier. The second one in this list relates to the 2 P's of passion and purpose. Many times, people who feel very strongly about anything, whether it is a domain, a subject matter, a functional area, an industry, or even a hobby, feel that they are so passionate about something, they might as well work in that domain. And what better way to do that than through the roots of entrepreneurship? Maybe there are not enough mainstream opportunities available in that domain, or maybe it is the desire to work in that area, coupled with some of the other factors, such as autonomy and control, that we discussed earlier. that is driving people towards their entrepreneurial journey. Once again, there is no rule of thumb which tells you whether people who pursue entrepreneurship for the sake of passion turn out to be more successful or not. However, there are common pitfalls that once again people fall into if their passion is not backed by commerciality and does not have a reality check. We will, of course, examine all of these things in greater detail in separate videos. But right now, it's time to get into the third factor, which is the most common refrain that I have normally heard, which is all about money, about finance, about financial freedom, about wealth creation. People do have this notion that entrepreneurship brings along with it many opportunities to create substantial and significant wealth in a way that employment opportunities just do not provide. While that is true, this could be a primary driver or a secondary driver for you. And if that is the case, I will at this stage only say one thing. There is no denying the fact that a successful entrepreneur can make much more money than a successful career employee who may have risen to the top of corporate ladders. However, one needs to bear in mind the success rate of entrepreneurship, particularly the extremely low chances of success in a startup. Once again, there are no right or wrong answers, but in case the financial aspect is your primary motivator, do bear in mind that this is a double edged sword. This is a big risk that you are taking. And while on the one hand, the prospect of making substantial amounts of money may seem very exciting, you also need to be practical and take into account the fact that there may be a more realistic chance of you not making as much money or in fact losing a lot of money, and that needs to be kept in mind while you are taking your entrepreneurial decision. The fourth reason could be around fame and status, particularly in the current times where entrepreneurship is celebrated all over the world and particularly in your country. You may get a feeling that everybody seems to be jumping on the entrepreneurial bandwagon. You may find that young entrepreneurs who may not have otherwise done much in their lives or achieved anything significant raise a round of funding or two, and their names and their photographs are splashed all over media, all over social media, and it gives them that celebrity status, while their peers may have been working much harder in employment or in other endeavors that they may have been part of. They may even have contributed more meaningfully and have had a longer list of achievements and accomplishments in their employment tenure, but they are not to be celebrated. Nobody outside the confines of their organization, or in some cases, even their immediate team members, does anyone even know of them or what they have been able to do. And the way entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship is celebrated in the media, this availability effect may propel you further in your entrepreneurial journey. While we will do a deep dive at a later stage, the one thing that I would like to caution you on is not getting into the FOMO trap or the fear of missing out trap. Just because everybody just seems to be jumping on the entrepreneurial bandwagon is not a sufficient reason for you to do the same. Your situation, circumstances, inclinations may well be very different compared to those others. And in any case, you do not know what fate has in store for the others who have embarked on this journey. The fifth set of reasons is something that I do not encounter too often, but nevertheless, it is something that people do keep coming up with once in a while. This is about challenge and growth. There is absolutely no doubt that entrepreneurship challenges you to develop skills in multiple different domains, functions, and learn how to be the master of your own destiny. In entrepreneurship, you know that the buck only and only stops with you. This just cannot be compared to even higher levels of roles and responsibilities in the corporate ladder, where you always have fallback options and there is an organizational support and mechanism to hold things through just in case things slip through the cracks. But you are the last man standing in your entrepreneurial venture. As an entrepreneur, you will be in these situations pretty much on a daily basis, and this will force you to be outside of your comfort zone. And as we all know, growth only happens when you step outside your comfort zone. This is not something that comes naturally to most of the people, but if it does to you, then entrepreneurship is a great way to challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone and grow and take up the challenges of entrepreneurship. So, these were the top 5 reasons why people would normally want to get into entrepreneurship: autonomy and control, passion and purpose, financial freedom and money, fame and status, and the fifth one being challenge and growth. As I promised to you in the very beginning, there is a sixth reason why most successful entrepreneurs become successful. They pivot to a different reason of why they want to become entrepreneurs. If you notice carefully, all of these five factors that we just mentioned are very inward looking. They are about you and your needs. What is your need to have autonomy and control over your life? What is your need to make money? What is your need to grow and develop your skills? What is your need to be well known? What is your need to pursue your passion? However, running a business is not at all about you. A successful business can only and only be about solving the needs of the customer. So, if the driver for your entrepreneurial venture is directed towards solving an unmet need of a particular customer segment, then the chances are much higher that you are going to get success. As a corollary, you may benefit in all of these five dimensions, or at least some of them. You may get autonomy and control if this is something that you feel very strongly about. Your passion could meet the needs of the customer that you are solving. If you do this well, you could definitely end up making a lot of money, and this will attract attention of people, and you will automatically get the fame and the celebrity status that you yearn for. And last but not the least, venturing on this journey may be challenging, but it will set you on the path of unprecedented growth, something that cannot be compared to any other option that you may have. I hope this has given you enough food for thought about why you should be getting into entrepreneurship in the first place. If your natural instinct or reaction, the one you noted down on that piece of paper, remember? Or you put it down in the comments, if it does not align to the sixth reason of solving the needs of a particular customer segment, do not worry. It is absolutely natural for the primary driver initially to be one of the five things or even something else that you may have thought about, which may be the primary driver in your case. But it does not matter where you started off with. But the key thing is that you need to be self aware, and this introspection would have hopefully shown you a little bit more about what you are thinking about why you should be getting into entrepreneurship. And you also know why is it that most successful entrepreneurs become successful in the first place. So, is there a way in which you can marry solving the needs of the customer segment with your primary driver? If you are able to do that, then you're all set to proceed on this journey. And the next question you should be asking yourself is, what does it take to be an entrepreneur? And do I have what it takes to be one? If you're wondering what that would be and you need help on that front, I have good news for you. You can watch my next video, which deals precisely with this topic. And before you jump off, do remember to subscribe to this channel so that you do not miss out on any of these valuable insights that I provide regularly through my channel. If you found some value and if you're watching up to this point in time, I'm sure you would have liked something about it. So do give it a like so that the YouTube algorithm knows that it should feed you with similar sort of content. And do leave behind your comments on why is it that you want to get into the entrepreneurship journey and how has this video changed your thought process about how you should be thinking about your why. With that, see you in the next episode.